So, it gets really cold in in Iowa. So, pardon me. So every once in a while you have to go out and like start your car, so it doesn't I don't know,
God damn
die.
it.
So Maddie goes out about 4:15 to start the car to kind of warm it up so it doesn't, die.
Well, it's for the
And comes
battery. You keep the
for the
battery from
battery,
dying if it's really super cold by running it a
which
little bit.
yeah, you run it a little bit and let it warm up and whatnot. So they come back in, they watch like, I don't know, what are you watching, Stargate or something,
Yes,
and got on the
SG-1.
computer. And then 45 minutes passed by and I was like, honey, uh, did you remember to turn the van off? Oh shit! Runs outside. And thankfully the van didn't explode. It wasn't out of gas. The battery was still good, at least as far as we know.
Ran it a lot longer than I should have. But the
Yes.
battery's not going to die tonight.
No, the battery is going to survive, and so are we. And hello, I'm Mrs. Snarky, and my panelists are here. We're all going to tell you what's happening.
How can I even care about climate change if I did that?
I mean, yeah.
I am
And
ashamed.
I would like to take a moment right now to shout out this cat. This cat is Elmer, and Elmer is Tria's cat. And it's a cute cat.
He's gorgeous.
This is a view of him.
That is a cat.
This is a view of him snuggling at night, Tria, and I thought it was adorable, and I wanted to give it a shout out because he totally deserves it. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, we are going to look at a loop of this gift that Kristi shared with us, and we're also going to introduce our panelists, Objectively Subjective.
I am objectively subjective. If you're watching this now, you're already subscribed because it's on my channel. But if it's on Thursday, then you better be subscribing to me, motherfuckers. Because I'm amazing, and you'll be watching it on Mrs. Snarky's channel. Got it?
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, y'all got this.
Penis.
Penis. Yes. And speaking of penis, we also have here. we have the general herself, Kristi Winters. Welcome, Kristi.
Thank you. That like tops some of the intros I've had from Kevin. Thank you. That will be memorable. And speaking of penis, Kristi. No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. What's your channel about? I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah, sorry, just to do the whole plug thing. Kristi Winters on YouTube. Generally, I comment on politics, also some rebuttal stuff, and then I have a very foul-mouthed politics sort of thing that I do with a friend of mine named Kevin Logan, who was a guest previously on this show, which is why basically, I came and initiated this, because if Kevin does something, I have to do it too. It's like a competition between us. No, not at all, actually. But it was a good thing. Like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, no problem. And I'm pretty sure by the end of this, I won't be telling you that you're not funny, because that's what I did to Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Yeah.
But that was also memorable, I suppose.
Yes.
Next up, we have #Heathen.
Hi, I'm Casey. #Heathen. We do #Heathen things on my channel. You can find me, if you're watching it on Objectively Subjective's channel, you can find me here on Friday nights and Saturday nights. And if you're watching this on Mrs. Snarky's channel, we do a premiere on Thursday, so you can see us twice.
Yes.
3 times.
Maybe 4 times, because we have a series coming out on Casey's channel. On Mondays, where we're going over this book that is amazing. And yeah, so look out for that. Next up, we have 𝒮𝓊𝓉.
Hi, it's all. I'm 𝒮𝓊𝓉. I have the YouTube channel Trans Gamer Girl, and which will be getting videos at some point. And I'm also active on Twitter as at @𝒮𝓊𝓉_E.
And also on Spectrum Chats, the first Sunday of every month. I got to get you this time.
It's true, though.
Yes, you did.
Speaking of competition, right? All right. Next up, we have Faithless Southerner.
That's me.
That is
Hi.
you. Also
I'm u-
known as Fat Clouds.
Yes, there you go. Alter egos. No, I'm usually slumming around with these people Fridays and Saturdays and premieres and junk like that. I do have a YouTube channel. Don't even bother subscribing. So
Yeah, subscribe and watch his video. It's amazing.
yeah, it's yeah.
Slumming? Okay.
Guilt him into another video.
You know what?
For bad influences.
We're gonna have to have some words. It's gonna be a throwdown like this here with Janice.
But will it mean anything? Like, are you going to use words with definitions or without?
No. Words don't mean anything.
Yeah, words don't
Words,
mean
okay.
nothing.
Look, Casey, why do you have to be so bad, Faith?
And I just have to. Like, it's in my contract, along with being basically Satan and Trump.
You're just too internet. Too
Yeah.
Alrighty. So do we want to go ahead and get into the awful stuff?
Yes.
Or do we want to linger? Let's talk about this GIF for a minute, because this GIF is amazing. And I like it. And I'm not ready to talk about Trump yet.
Hide in the distractions.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
get that.
Yes. Yes. It's the only thing that helps me deal. Okay. Okay, Snarky, you can do this. So Trump is going to trial. Whoops, I did not have it on the doohickey. But there are a lot of things that, most Americans don't know about the impeachment process. First of all, a lot of them don't seem to realize that he has been impeached. That is the power of the House of Representatives. So he has been impeached. But now the articles of impeachment, which there's 2, have gone over to the Senate, and there is going to be an impeachment trial. So I found this article on Vox, and I thought we would kind of go over it because it's, like common questions about the impeachment trial that I guess people are embarrassed to ask for. I don't know why you would be.
Why would you?
I don't know, but I see my artwork advertised here, and that makes me happy. Anyway.
People are sneaking into doctors' offices. So how does impeachment work?
How does impeachment work, Maddie?
Not the way it's working right now. At least not with fucking McConnell. At least, I mean, I don't know how it's going to work out actually, because he seems to be facing some pushback. But
yeah,
who knows?
Thankfully, there has been a little bit of pushback, but it seems like a lot of the GOP are really wishy-washy with this. At first, a lot of them were like, "No, we're just going to vote this down." But after pressure from, I guess, constituents and other people that came and spoke up and said, "Hey, let's at least hear the witnesses," I guess McConnell's kind of like, "Oh, we'll put it to a vote. We'll see what happens," I guess. But there were some that came out straight away and said, "No, this is not going to happen. This is, for some reason, something we want to put on our resume as, horrible stuff that we've swept under the fucking rug again."
Well,
So
I can't get over this picture. I
I
mean,
know.
doesn't McConnell look like just daddy's good little boy? Like he just got a pat on the head and he's all, "Yay, I've done a good job.
I'm gonna
Daddy's
get
proud of
extra
me."
lettuce with my dinner.
Exactly.
Maybe
This is just-
someday I'll be a real boy.
This is so surreal. This picture.
It's
Gosh.
It's really sad because his personality is kind of like, well, he's obviously a liar and obstructor. We all know that, but he looks so much like Jiminy Cricket. It's just like, what? Anyway,
He does.
that was mean, but whatever.
He does, though. It's true, but
It's true.
it's just you got Trump's warning to sink New York now. So I like what is going. I don't understand what's happening in this world.
Yeah, and what's up with the light bulbs? He's going to bring back light bulbs. Is he talking about the energy save light bulbs or what?
No, he's
The
talking about
ones, yeah.
the old light bulbs
Yeah.
that you had
Before.
to replace all the time. That everyone didn't you see all the people marching on the streets because they were needing that urge to replace a light bulb and they didn't have it?
I just don't get this. What the fuck is going
Well,
on?
I like the ticker because it was Trump is bringing back the light bulb, not a certain kind, not plural. It was Trump is bringing back the light bulb. Which where did he take it? Why was it gone? What's he bringing it back for? I don't understand.
Oh, I
Also
know
on
where-
the sorry, on the Mitch McConnell point, I think you should maybe just go with the nickname he gave himself, the Grim Reaper,
oh,
for all the bills that he's killed in the Senate. So,
Oh, yeah.
if you're worried about, comparing him to Jiminy Cricket, just call him the Grim Reaper.
you know what? That works.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of underlies the feeling of the ominous feeling that I get when I look at him and I realize just how much he has obstructed our government in so many ways.
He has a face that says, "I still don't know what the clitoris is."
Oh my god. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go.
It's a myth, according to him.
Oh, it must be
wow.
a myth. If he hasn't found it yet, it must be. All right. So, what is this? In an impeachment trial, the U.S. Constitution gives Congress the power to hold federal officers accountable for high crimes and misdemeanors through an impeachment process. But that process unfolds in 2 steps. First, the House, as we said, already did, decides whether to impeach, essentially whether to charge with wrongdoing, which has happened. Second, it's up to the Senate to decide whether the official is guilty of that wrongdoing, for which the punishment entails removal from office. They do this by holding a trial. There have been 19 such trials in United States history, 15 for federal judges, 1 for a senator, 1 for a cabinet officer, and most momentously, 2 for presidents, Andrew Johnson in 1868 and Bill Clinton in 1999, which most of us remember. Evans might not, but
I remember. Come on now.
Oh, whatever.
I was 9.
Oh,
remember.
young'un. You were such a young'un. Oh, that's precious.
Baby.
Oh, baby.
All right. So the Trump's Senate trial will focus on the 2 articles of impeachment approved by the House. Article 1, abuse of power, accuses Trump of pressuring the Ukrainian government into announcing an investigation to the Bidens by withholding both a House meeting and military aid, which, by the way, that military aid was Senate approved. And I believe we're going to be talking about that later, but just hang on to that little nugget of information. Now, Article 2 is obstruction of justice, or obstruction of Congress, rather. It accuses Trump of trying to impede the impeachment inquiry by urging government agencies not to comply with subpoenas and witnesses not to cooperate.
And we did just get a super chat from 𝒮𝓕-𝒂𝓐 that said, "It's sad when you're worse at sex than me."
Oh, God. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you, Tria. And shout out again to Elmer. Elmer's cute. I hope that she did miss that shout out. But anyway, yeah. So anything on this so far? We all understanding? We're all kind of.
I mean, it makes sense. The one thing that I want to point out on this portion, because I work with conservatives, and I have heard this said several times. Well, the House, they wasted their impeachment. They if he doesn't get impeached, they can't do it again. It's like,
What?
no, that's
No,
it's not how to, it's not a phone a friend or something like that.
it's not double jeopardy.
Yeah,
No.
they can find if there's other crimes, they can impeach him on those as well.
Yeah, these are the same people that said if he gets impeached and acquitted, that he gets another
Yeah,
automatically.
That was going to be my question, because I mean I'm following it up to this point, but nowhere in here does it mention that he gets a 3rd term
Yeah,
if the Senate trial fails, and I'm just
No.
wondering
Because that
where
doesn't
that's
happen.
going to.
because it doesn't
Bullshit.
happen. The conservatives
No,
are.
there was a reputable website that was not satire
It
that had
Oh.
a
said
nice
the
flat.
5 times it said satire, Evans.
Well, I mean, it had a really great flat Earth banner, and they said it. I don't understand what the problem is. You can't put anything on the internet that's not true.
It's true,
I
though.
can't
That's
look at
true.
my coworker the same after that was the source that they used to try and pwn me.
At least you got a source, right?
True.
Like I've never once from any of my conservative coworkers gotten a source for any claim that they've ever made. I'll say, "Hey, could you source that?" And they go, "I'm not looking it up for you." I'm like, "Well, I'm Googling and this isn't here. Like, I don't even know where you found this tidbit of information."
They pulled it straight out of their ass.
Yeah. Hillary lost the popular vote.
Oh my God. Don't
Yeah,
don't even.
I've heard that too.
Okay. So these trials typically end in a final vote, which they vote on each article of impeachment. Vote to convict on even one article means that the official is ousted. But crucially, conviction requires 2/3 supermajority in the Senate. So yeah, that's kind of something that I've been hearing on the news, is whether or not they think they'll get a supermajority, and that's highly unlikely, according at least that's the, I'm just going to say, vibe that I'm getting from a lot of these officials in the Senate. All right, so are there prosecutors, defense, and a judge like an ordinary trial? So, okay. So there are prosecutors and the House impeachment managers. This week, Speaker Nancy Pelosi named 7 members of the House to take the case that Trump would be removed from office to the Senate. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what is going on. So they are Representative Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, Hakeem Jeffries, Val Demings, Jason Crow, Sylvia Garcia, and Zoe Lofgren. So yeah, and Trump also has a defense team. Ken Starr, which y'all may remember from Bill Clinton's impeachment, Robert Ray, who also succeeded Starr in that post, and celebrity lawyer Alan Dershowitz. So who is Alan Dershowitz? Do y'all know who he is?
Yeah. He's he's a Harvard scholar. He's taken up some famous cases. I think the first one was, I can't remember, a guy who was accused of murder. He did the OJ, he was part of the OJ team.
Yeah.
But mostly he does appellate stuff and constitutional law stuff. Or no, he doesn't teach constitutional law. I think he does criminal stuff, hence his involvement in criminal trials. He really is not a constitutional scholar. And he's got this weird take that the idea of high crimes and misdemeanors means you have to meet some sort of statutory threshold of what that crime would be. Like, you have to have a crime in this complaint. But the thing is, when the Constitution was written, there wasn't a federal code. So it's kind of hard to argue the founders intended the House to base their articles of impeachment on that, when they basically just said, the power to impeach shall rest in the House. Like, that's all they said. The House can do it however they want.
Yeah, and to be
in
clear,
my opinion,
on this, he's come out and said that Trump announced him as one of his defense attorneys. He said he's just going to show up and talk about his take on impeachment, and that's all he's going to do.
Wow. So that's not really, I think maybe he just wanted to have some star power behind him.
Yes. Yeah.
He also has, go ahead.
Sorry, he was on 𝒮𝓊𝓉 yesterday, and I watched parts of the interview. And then he tried to say, well, yeah, I'm not really part of the team. I'm not doing strategy. I'm going to get up there and kind of give the opening arguments. And they just want to throw legal smoke up to give cover to Republicans, some legal stuff to repeat on Fox. And 𝒮𝓊𝓉 was like, well, but you have to be on the team to be on the Senate floor. They don't do a +1 for the attorneys for the president.
Right.
And he's like, okay, yeah, and that way I'm on his team. So he got him to admit that, yeah, technically he has to be on the team to be on the Senate floor, but he doesn't see himself as part of the team. Yeah, he's grandstanding.
Oh, so he's just kind of like trying to keep arm's length, and at the same time getting up there and blowing smoke in front of the face of the American people, like the GOP did in what we saw in the House. They were arguing in the House was just nothing but procedure, and just, I want to hear the testimony of the whistleblower, which is, come on, y'all, just stop.
Yeah, I want someone who's not an eyewitness, because the president isn't sending over any of the eyewitnesses.
Right. Yeah. So how are we supposed to, anyway. So there will be a Chief Justice, John Roberts, presiding over it, as per the Constitution. It's not clear how substantial that role is. Like I said before, there haven't been a whole lot of impeachment trials. So this isn't like set in stone, so to speak. And there's a lot that can be debated as far as what the procedures actually are, which is kind of messed up because, like we said before, Republicans are trying to throw up questions of procedure over and over again. So I think it's really important that we talk about procedure, and what actually is supposed to go down, and to kind of settle the smoke and see things clearly in terms of what goes on. So anyway.
And I just, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Like, can I come in on that again, because this is really exciting. There's not only, sorry, this is my bailiwick, so
No,
I
good
get,
stuff.
We are talking here about the procedure part of it, but this is ultimately at its heart a political event.
Yes.
And one of the things that you'll have to think about is with Roberts presiding, when there's a disagreement between the House managers and the president's defense team, Roberts will have to rule, like on whether or not to have witnesses. And the Senate as a body does have the right to run the Senate, but in order to do that, they have to overrule him. And so plan to see Democrats putting up things or putting the GOP in a position where Roberts has to rule, yes, we'll have these documents, we'll have these witnesses. And then they're on a roll call saying, no, I don't want this evidence. Because in 2020, this record is going to come back to haunt some people.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is kind of the heart of what their games that they're playing. That's at the heart of it, is what will that look like when they actually have to admit that, no, they don't want witnesses. No, they don't want a trial. They just want to sweep this under the rug. Like, how is that going to look in the history books, and how is that going to look to the American people?
Well,
I think that's really a good thing.
And speaking of the history books, because I think it's a good point to bring across here, because a lot of people think of our founders as this mythic, brilliant group, and yet they looked at probably the most important thing that could ever happen in terms of what Congress would have to do. It was like, they'll figure most of it out. We don't have to really give them much.
Pretty much.
You know, the Constitution was also written with the idea in mind that it would be amended and that there would be changes with each, at least Jefferson had this idea, with each generation, they would have to tweak it in order to suit that generation's needs. So, I mean, that could go bad, you know, either way, like too much or too little. But yeah, that's kind of, the vagueness doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. It's not very clear cut. So yeah, the Senate will be kind of the jury, but also the court. As it says here, the trial is conducted for the benefit of the 100 senators who will eventually decide whether to remove the president from office or keep him there. And just like in a criminal trial, senators mostly aren't permitted to speak at the trial. They're supposed to observe silently, and they're not allowed to bring in any electronics or anything like that to the proceedings. So
on that point, can I also say that, what was it? I had a point. Oh, right. On the founders and the way they set up the Constitution, they also presume that each branch and house would jealously guard its powers and authorities.
Right.
And I don't think what they predicted was that the Senate would roll over for the executive.
Yeah, exactly. Because the separation of powers was one of the main principles when they were putting together the Constitution, that would put a hold on or put a check or a balance on other institutions. So it's a very important thing that in the past, ever since Trump has been elected, really, the Senate has been nothing but just a bunch of puppets, it seems, because they're just doing his bidding no matter what. And I think that they can't get away with it much longer. Not with this, not with them openly stating, and basically a court setting, that no, they don't want to hear it. It's just, yeah.
Hope so.
I hope so too.
Can I make one more point?
Of course.
I know a lot of us are focused on Article 1, which is the abuse of power, because evidence in support of it keeps coming out. But the one we don't really talk about, unless it's about the witnesses, is Article 2. Article 2 deals with obstruction of Congress in its impeachment duties, which is its oversight duties, its constitutional duties, to be a check and on the executive. If the senators vote to acquit Trump on blocking every piece of evidence, every eyewitness he could have enough power to keep them from participating, even when they were subpoenaed, what the Senate is saying is that the president is a king, because there will be a precedent that a president can just refuse to participate with Congress, any investigation for any reason. And now there's no precedent that we would ever check that.
Yeah,
That to
and
me is truly terrifying.
it is. It's true. It's definitely terrifying. It's tyranny. And what if the tables were turned? What if this were a Democratic president? You would hear the senators, GOP, just scream from the rooftops, hey, we want our witnesses. I mean, they barged into a meeting that was held by Congress, pretending like none of them were invited when there was like 30 some odd GOP members in that group. So yeah, imagine what they would do if this were a Democratic president. Wow.
Oh, it'd be so much different. It really would.
Definitely. So this is talking about how previous impeachment trials played out. It's talking about rules and, will witnesses be called? It's up to the Senate to decide. And one thing that it seems like everything in these kind of settings has to be voted on. So if there's a witness, it has to be voted on and they have to approve it. And unless, of course, like Kristi said before, Roberts overrules that and then they go ahead and have the witness called. But yeah, what comes in between for Trump is yet to be determined, and it varied greatly for Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton's trials. Johnson's 1868 trial took nearly 2 months from start to finish. The articles were focused mainly on whether Johnson had violated a new law, the Tenure of Office Act, by firing his Secretary of War without the Senate's approval. Oh, wow. I'm thinking about Trump and going, what? What have we become? Several administration officials were called to testify by each side about his actions. The outcome appeared genuinely in the balance as the Senate prepared to vote on a verdict, with all manner of behind-the-scenes shenanigans unfolding. I love that shenanigans. All right, so Clinton's 1999 trial lasted about a month. He was accused of perjury and obstruction of justice in his effort to cover up his affair with Monica Lewinsky, and due to his high approval rating and continued support amongst most Democrats, he was widely expected to be acquitted. Things kicked off on the Senate floor with televised opening arguments in a period during which each side answered written questions submitted by senators. Then the GOP-controlled Senate voted to approve the proposal of House impeachment managers to call 3 witnesses, Lewinsky plus Clinton allies Vernon Jordan and Sidney Blumenthal. Oh, wow. That's a name we've heard a lot in the Trump speeches.
Yeah, and the only thing that's important really about this section that they're talking about is both trials had witnesses.
Yes, they had witnesses. And that's why I kind of wanted to go over it. So,
yeah. No, it seems so weird. Like, I have no idea what the Senate Republicans are going to do, but to try and do an impeachment trial without witnesses just seems like it would shoot them in the foot.
It would show their hand, definitely. So this is
Remember, they don't care.
Yeah,
no,
that's
they
true.
don't.
They don't care.
So in terms of how long the trial will be, I mean, who knows? It could be a month. It could be 2 months. Who knows? I mean, there's no way to predict that. That's how I'm going to answer this question.
McConnell wants to make it a fast one, though, because I think Trump wants it done before the State of the Union.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
and going back to the whole not caring thing, I think that's another thing that the Founding Fathers really didn't think would happen. It's just that people would be in government and just not care about doing their job.
I'm sure it was unfathomable to them. Like,
right.
Why wouldn't
they
free people?
For this.
Yeah, why wouldn't a free people want to rule over themselves? What the fuck? I mean,
well, monarchy is actually the best form.
Shit.
Stop
it.
Jesus.
Stop.
Are you a libertarian now?
I'm considering it.
Oh shit. I guess you should have worn your Ron Paul shirt. Go ahead, Alhana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, monarchy's such a bad way to rule. We don't let our monarch make any fucking decisions.
Oh my gosh. So a lot of people are worrying about McConnell, and is he just going to call all the shots, right? Well, as long as he can keep his party lines together, yes, he will essentially call the shots, and he so far has done that. But yeah, the vote on the final verdict, as mentioned, needs 67 yeses to pass, but measures before that can be approved by a simple majority. However, Vice President Pence, who could usually break ties in the Senate, and which is unprecedented, by the way, is not expected to vote on any impeachment matters. He's a bit of a conflict of interest since, I don't know, he seems to know all about this Ukraine thing, and he's been brought up many times. I really hope that they have... oh my gosh, who was the guy that 𝒮𝓅𝓁𝓉? I really hope that they have Parnas to the trial as a witness. That would be amazing.
I want to see
I'm
Devin Nunes called.
What was that?
I want to see Devin Nunes called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Ron Johnson from Wisconsin. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I just see this whole thing. It's like it said, you need 67 votes to vote to remove. Everything else just needs 51 votes. And with some of the Republican senators that have come out and said, well, of course we're going to have witnesses. I'd like to hear from Michael Bolton, or I'd like to hear from 𝒮𝓅𝓁𝓉. It's a possibility.
Or John Bolton even.
Yeah. John Bolton. Did I say Michael Bolton?
Yes, you did.
Look,
that would be cool though, right?
Look, the Senate might need some nice, smooth jazz-like music.
Oh, but Michael Bolton? Really? I don't know if that's nice.
You don't know.
I mean, that would be great torture.
There was that awesome mix of the mashup picture of him and John Bolton.
Oh God!
Have y'all seen that? It's glorious. Yes, it's awesome.
Oh, you're gonna have to send that. Okay, so speaking of these swing votes that McConnell has to worry about, Senator Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Mitt Romney are kind of people that tend to go their own way, and also maybe Rand Paul. I don't know. You never know what he's gonna do.
I think Murkowski and Romney are the ones that you have to really think about.
Definitely.
Collins basically has proven time and again that they'll act impartial until it comes to time to vote.
True. Yeah.
Honestly, they're all Jeff Flakes to me.
Yeah.
They're all just, every time we do this, it's Lucy with and Charlie Brown with the football with these people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've already gone over what Roberts will do. So I don't know why we have to go over that again. Should we go over that again?
No.
I don't think we should. Will Trump show up and testify? Now, this is a great question. The president has claimed he would, quote, strongly consider testifying in the impeachment inquiry. But of course, Trump, strongly lies. Pretty much every time he opens his mouth, he's lying.
What?
So,
no way he shows up.
Not Trump.
No fucking way.
No, he's not going to show. And if he, no, there'll be people putting Benadryl in his chicken nuggets or his burgers or whatever that day to keep him from showing up.
They need to take his phone away, his iPhone, because he tweets from the iPhone. He's the president. Yeah. Okay. So most in Washington do very much not expect this to happen. Now, remember, Trump also frequently claimed that he'd be happy to do an interview with former special counsel Robert Mueller during the Russia probe, but ended up just submitting one written set of heavily lawyered answers, which were bullshit. So yeah, the Trump legal team isn't going to let him testify. I'm sorry, they're not going to do it. He can't speak even half a sentence without putting himself and incriminating himself over and over again and thinking that it's totes cool.
Yeah, he'd perjure himself within the first couple minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So how will senators decide a verdict? Unless there is a successful motion to dismiss the charges against Trump, I really don't think that's going to happen. Just my opinion.
That's already off the table. It's already, they tried it. McConnell, I thought, signed on to it. There are 13 signatures, but then they pulled it and they're doing the trial.
Yeah, that's not even an option at this point. So what lies at the end of this are the Senate votes on whether he's guilty or not guilty of each charge. And remember, there's two: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. And I think both of them are very easily proven in any court. But that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. As presented, the question for senators might be simple. Did Trump do what he's accused of doing? The true question lurking behind this is, should Trump be removed from the White House? And that's a higher bar. Take, for instance, the Clinton impeachment. Some senators believe that he was, in fact, guilty of perjury and obstruction of justice, but still concluded he shouldn't be removed from office. Which, I mean, this is... Okay, think of Clinton what you will. Definitely not a perfect person. Definitely did some things that were really shady, right? But people came to the conclusion that this was not enough to remove him from office. And that very well be the conclusion that a lot of these senators come to, whether we agree with it or not, which I think he should have been removed yesterday, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get removed. There's such a small chance of that happening.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's always going to have it on his record that he was impeached before the Senate.
Yeah.
He was taken before the Senate, and regardless of what they do, this is a taint on his already taint of a presidency.
Taint?
His presidency is just a taint. That's all it is.
That's it.
It's not even a dick. It's not an asshole. It's just a taint.
Yep.
It's just, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens here, if he's acquitted or not, it's still politically death. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
It should be.
Yeah, it should be.
49% to 50% of people in America think he should be impeached and removed. So he's starting off his re-election campaign with that as his,
Yep.
And I believe the numbers are it's between 10 and 17% of Republicans are on that side of the aisle of thinking he should be impeached and removed.
Yeah. So is there a chance that if he does get removed or not, whatever, is he going to be charged criminally? Personally, I don't think he will. What do y'all think? Who cares what this article says?
Like after?
Well, like, is there any chance that Trump gets removed or charged criminally? These are two separate
I don't know.
I think Michael Cohen would want to see the individual one that he went to jail for get tried.
I think so too.
He is already an unnamed unindicted co-conspirator in a trial that got a conviction.
Yeah.
So that's out there.
It's only fair, right? I mean,
yeah. Why should he go to jail for writing a check when Trump was the one who organized and benefited from the entire conspiracy?
Definitely. Yep. And Michael Cohen is one of those instances where I was like, I could not stand him because it was just so obvious what a liar he was. But then whenever he was testifying and he brought forth his testimony, he was really sincere and honest, I think. He was like, look, y'all, I did this awful thing. It was terrible. Here's all the evidence. I will work with you. I should have done better for the American people. And that's kind of a sentiment that I actually respect. Think what you will, but I mean,
he only did it after his back was totally to the wall, though.
Well, yeah, definitely. But he could have done like so many others have been doing and just continued being a slime ball. It takes a lot.
Manafort.
Yes. It takes a lot of guts to admit that you're wrong. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think he's a wonderful person all of a sudden. I just think that it did take a lot of guts and a lot of fortitude.
He told the truth when it counted. So that might count for something.
Exactly. All right. So is there anything else we want to talk about when it comes to impeachment? I mean, this has already been, to be honest, I haven't been keeping up with it as much because I've been doing other things, but I've kind of made up my mind that this isn't going to amount to as much as I want it to, but it's still it's a good thing that this process is going forward. But what do y'all think?
I think Sosh in the chat has it. I know it's a spelling spelling error. But like the cholesterol medicine that I saw the other day that causes tears in the perineum. That's what Trump's presidency has been, a tear in the perineum.
Ew. Ow.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ah,
that does hurt. And since we're already talking about Trump, let's
Oh.
get Trump over with.
Can I just one a last point? Sorry, I'm sorry
Sure.
I'm dominating the conversation, but you guys.
No, you're good.
So one thing that I pointed to actually in the last happy hour is that we don't really know. We haven't heard a legal argument from the president. We've heard a lot of bluster and lies and contradictions.
Of course.
But now we know what the opening statement's going to look like because it's going to be delivered by 𝒮𝓫𝓫, and he's written like 3 books on this topic. So we know that that's not going to actually address the substance of the case. And what I'm really interested to see is what the main team decides to do in terms of what are they going to do about all of this evidence and all of the obstruction? Like, how are they going to spend their time defending the president, if at all? So that's what I'm going to be, because, the Republicans in the House just complained about the process and they never really addressed the substance.
No, of
but
course not.
Attorneys kind of have to. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
That is going to be interesting to hear. And I bet you they're talking about that right now. I bet you.
Yeah, definitely be interesting to hear, because any defense you've come up with has got to try and explain away the multiple times that Trump has basically admitted that he obstructed it because he didn't believe it should be happening.
Nah, president can do whatever the hell he wants because he's king.
Mhm.
Wait, no, that's not
Oops.
reality.
That's Barr's
Yeah.
opinion and Trump's. Yeah.
But yeah, so Kristi brought an interesting topic, which I think will come back to bite Trump in the butt as well. So I don't know if you want to read from this article or just talk about this
I
issue.
can just summarize it because we've been doing
Okay.
a lot of Trump here. But last week, the Government Accounting Office, which is an independent body made up of just like auditors, and it's well respected by both parties and both chambers and the executive branch. Chris Van Hollen, or Van Hollens, I forget which one it is, requested a review of the administration's actions when it came to the Ukraine hold on the military aid in light of a certain impoundment act that was passed actually after the last Watergate, I believe, because it's to stop Nixon from doing something very similar with money.
Right.
And on the day that all of the sort of ceremonial vote about the impeachment articles being sent over to the Senate happened, this government agency announced its finding that the Trump administration had broken the law by their actions. And when Republicans had previously said this entire thing is a witch hunt and it's ridiculous because no laws were broken, well, now it's not a legal opinion, it's an auditor's opinion, but well, in a fair, normal politics, this agency and its conclusions would carry substantive weight with the members of the Senate. So that was it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing that I think the Democrats have going for them is they got so much evidence.
Yes.
So much. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. But I trust Adam Schiff to be able to thread the needle of having a narrative, but one that is constructed purely based on relevant facts to that narrative.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a really great communicator.
I agree with that. I really do. Watching him in the impeachment trial in the House and how he just kept it on point.
Can I just say this? When I saw him in charge of stuff, I got this sort of like, oh, I can relax because a grown-up is in charge.
Oh,
and
I
the
know,
last
right?
time I felt like that was when Obama was president.
Oh,
I know, like, when Trump was first elected, there was the whole "not my president" movement that people would talk about. It's serious, like, it hasn't felt like we've had a president.
no, we haven't.
We've had someone that tweets and yells a lot, and everyone else is like, "Oh, don't worry, we're taking care of it."
Oh, don't forget somebody who is just in that office to enrich himself and his family. I mean,
Yeah,
this
we have a
his-
reality TV show. I mean,
Yes.
that's what it boils down
Yes.
to.
Definitely.
like, he talks about the ratings of the State of the Union or anything. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was still talking
Mhm.
about his reality show and when Schwarzenegger was on it and the ratings and stuff when he was in the office, didn't he?
Yeah, and
Like
he
it
still
just
talks about the landslide that
Yeah.
he
whatever.
won.
That's
He
that
occupies an alternate reality of his
yes.
own making.
he
Well, Lev
does.
Parnas called it a cult.
Yes, and that is on point. Very on
As a
point.
cult member, I can confirm.
Well, and you notice that now that pretty much every single person that would provide any kind of questioning of the president is gone, like the turntable style administration has kind of slowed. Like not as many people are leaving
Yeah, they know
because
too much.
they all just get
Yeah.
a teat to themselves, and
Ew.
that's where they remain.
Oh my God, the mental image. Fuck. Okay, so one thing that this article points out, and this is something that Maddie's been trying to really drive home to me because I'm cynical and I can't help it, but it points out that we may be getting to an area where even the Teflon president can't wiggle free. And I like that. I like that idea because holy shit, y'all.
Well,
Yeah.
when it boils down to it, we do live in a land of laws, and the president is not above the law. So some of this stuff is going to stick, and yeah, I'm optimistic about 2020. I am.
Well, so
I-
far 2020. Ugh. Anyway, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I was just I this year didn't realize what it meant to live in a nation of laws, not under a monarchy. You know, like the idea that we're not going to take something like, inherited power as a way to organize our society. We're all going to agree to this set of rules, and we all agree that these rules are fair, and this is what we're going to live by. And Trump has come along, and he's just smashed that apart.
Yeah, and what it seems like he's aiming for, and this family is aiming for, is a dynasty.
Yes, it is.
And that is fucking scary.
Yes, because if he gets reelected and Barr stays as Attorney General and they hold the Senate and the House impeaches Barr and it doesn't go anywhere and they do what they can to roadblock him for another 4 years. But this is literally, I think, our democracy is teetering because the House will have a precedent that he doesn't have to participate in any impeachment investigations they would do. He would just rule.
Which might be a good time to say, if you're someone that's using the hashtag Never Warren or hashtag Never Biden, you're actually sharing hashtag Pro Trump.
Pretty much.
Because this round is about taking on Congress. The next round, if he's reelected, is about stacking and taking on the courts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And
That's where it's going.
he's already been stacking the courts. As
That's what
much.
McConnell, it's all he lives for right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just
They
telling
were
you.
mad. They were mad that they had to stop hearing hearings on judges in order to hold the impeachment trials.
And it's just
wow.
Ginsburg is, I'm assuming, holding on just because of Trump.
I think her will to live is pretty much based on January of 2021.
Yeah, and
Yep.
Ginsburg's not going to make another term, so that's another Supreme Court justice that's going to be decided.
Shit, y'all. Shit.
Get people who don't vote to register to vote because this might be our last stand for democracy.
Yes.
Definitely. Well, I am hoping, at least at this point, to go to Iowa caucuses. Hopefully weather willing, because it's pretty far away. But yeah, this is important enough to make me get out of my house. So yeah. And don't tell me who to vote for. Sorry. No, you're not going to bully me into voting for your candidate. You're just not.
Like I've said, if your candidate ends up in the general, I'll vote for them. Until then, you're not going to force
piss
me.
off.
Yes, don't bully me. Leave me alone.
And going from one dildo.
Yes, one dildo to the next. So, Casey, let's bring the house down with this one, right? This is an amazing topic.
So, as it says, woman selling tortillas didn't realize she was using a dildo as a rolling pin.
How could she
in-
not?
Happens every
It says,
day.
yeah, it says Durex on it. In San Antonio, Texas, this woman is trying to sell like homemade tortillas on Facebook Marketplace. So she puts up in her ad, and that was the picture that she used.
That's amazing.
So Miss
Wait
Peggy.
a second, she
put-
used this picture? This is
Yes.
her picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Look at the accreditation.
But
Twitter,
I can't-
state of selling.
I can't read that on my screen. I just thought this is something that like the news was like, this will be funny. We'll just toss a dildo on
No,
the
this is
table.
the picture she posted to
Yeah,
sell her
This is a
homemade
stock.
tortillas.
This is a stock image, y'all.
I'm a slight bit of a minimalist, and I'm just saying this is finding a new use for something you might already own.
Yeah, dual usage, y'all. That's important.
And
Yeah,
there might
that-
already be yeast on it.
Yeah, I was
Oh
supposed
my
to say.
Oh god.
But you
You
don't
stole
want
my joke,
yeast.
Maddie.
You don't want
Don't want
yeast.
it in tortillas.
Yeah, why would you want yeast and unleavened? And yeah, okay.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Have you?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Oh my god, not the yeast bread thing again. Maddie might vomit. So
Oh yeah, that's true. So they're listed at, well, one post has it at $15, the other has it at $10. And a lot of people jumped into her messaging being like, hey, by the way, that's a dildo. And
it was a big honking purple dildo.
and the person's like, you've been rolling them with the dildo. And she said, rolling pin. Like, why does your picture have a dildo then? They're like, only an uncultured swine would not see it's a vibrating rolling pin.
Why would they
No, that's a
vibrate?
dildo. And she's like, it's called a vibrating rolling pin.
Why? Why would it vibrate?
Why?
Right? I mean, what's the use that could possibly have in a kitchen that the rolling pin vibrates?
Well, I don't know about you, but when I've been rolling all day, the muscles in my hand just get really tense, and you gotta have that vibration.
Maybe
No.
that's what she thought it was for. It was massaging
Yeah.
her hand as she was
It was
working.
it's a massager, right?
It's a personal massaging rolling pin.
That's right.
So,
Okay, definitely not
The-
a stock photo. I've just shared
oh yeah,
picture
no.
of the actual listing.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's her photo.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Fresh
the article-
tortillas.
Yes. The article says a few stray observations. Number one, it's fitting that this woman's name is Peggy and she's from Texas
Oh, fuck.
because this feels like the plot of a King of the Hill episode. All she needs now is a husband named Hank to scream "blah" when he finds out what his wife had been rolling her delicious tortillas with.
I'll tell you
Number
That's
two.
not where my mind went whenever you said Peggy.
No,
I'm just going to go ahead.
No,
Wasn't
that's
where
not where
my
my
mind went
either.
either. No. Number two, at least Peggy was so clueless about her vibrating rolling pin actually being a dildo that we can be reasonably assured the thing wasn't pulling double duty. And number three, unless she bought it used at a garage sale or something, and the person she obviously bought it from was like, what? A purple vibrating rolling pin? Yeah, sure, $5. Oh God, that's what happened, isn't it? Do not eat these tortillas.
Oh, I'm sure she cleaned it off, y'all.
At
Stop.
least-
In the dishwasher.
At least it's a smooth dildo, and you weren't eating like veiny tortillas.
Studded ones,
Little imprint.
Yeah.
Oh,
These
boy,
tortillas
I
are
tell
ribbed
you
for her
what.
pleasure.
Yes, they feel so good going down my throat.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
god.
Right? I don't know. Like I can kind of see it, but I mean, like it says, it obviously says Durex, which is a condom manufacturer and sex toy producer. So, well, like, did she think that was just a breakthrough kitchen company too?
Reina, fresh tortillas.
Look,
Yes.
the joke is everything can be a dildo if you're brave enough, but also it goes in reverse on rolling pins. Everything can be a rolling pin if you're brave enough.
Oh,
boy.
here's the text messages that
Yes.
she got. You've been rolling them with a dildo rolling pin. Why does your picture have a dildo?
Yes.
Oh my
Only an
An
uncultured swine would not see that's a vibrating rolling pin.
See, that line right there makes
Yes.
me think that this is just a brilliant troll, right? Like,
It
this
could
is
be.
this is just
It could
high
be.
tier shit posting.
How are the tortillas?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't go into any reviews on Peggy.
They had a nutty flavor.
A little yeasty, but they're all right.
Oh my gosh. Well, big question is, do you think that Peggy was able to choose to do this?
God.
So there's a segue into our next topic, which
Yay.
is brought to you by Evans and Ohana.
This is for everybody. Come on now.
But it's brought by y'all. So yeah, the big question is, do we have free will? And if we do, to what extent are our choices determined by our biological makeup or what have you, our mental status, mental state, or the way our brains are structured, or do we have the ability to break those chains, so to speak? So
Take it away.
Okay, this all started back in last July when Maddie had a poll on their Twitter and introduced it as a topic on Our Last Nerve. And the topic was, do we choose our beliefs? And although the poll, the majority of people basically said, yes, we do, the panel, most notably Maddie and Evans, were on the side of we don't. I'm trying to remember all the details now because a lot's happened since I watched the rewatched the video about nearly an hour ago now. But essentially, the argument put forward for not choosing our beliefs is our beliefs are the product of our biology, our upbringing, our environment, etc. Which, to a degree, is true, in my opinion. Those things definitely do affect how we make choices, but we do still choose to believe what we believe in and what we do not believe in. This has to be the case, even if the choice is in some form unconscious, because otherwise, when you're given new information, you would be unable to change your belief. Most notably, when someone brought up in a religious background from birth, they will have been taught that God exists and everything, and it wouldn't be until later in life when they're exposed to other views that they would begin to question those. And at that point, whether consciously or unconsciously, they then make a choice on whether to continue to believe in God or to no longer believe in God. Another example would be a belief in Santa Claus in children. A lot of people essentially, as was discussed on another show, I believe, the whole, should we tell children about Santa Claus? Well, a lot of people do, and at some point, the child gains enough knowledge that they will choose to no longer believe. And of course, another extreme example of people choosing to believe, but going in the opposite direction, is people that have grown up in normal schooling systems and have learnt the makeup of the planet that we live on and the fact that it is an oblate spheroid, no ifs, no buts, there's undeniable proof about it. Yet there is a growing number of people that have decided to choose to believe that the Earth is in fact flat.
Yeah, and they're all over the globe.
Indeed. It was put forward in that stream that to think that people choose to have some pretty extreme and not very nice views is scary, which I will admit that is true, but I think it's far scarier to believe that those people could never change their views because they haven't chosen to believe in it, so thus they will always believe in it. And if that's the case, what are we all doing wasting our time trying to make the world better because these people would never change?
That's a good question. I think, honestly, it depends on the person. Everybody has their own drive to want to learn things. Some people don't care. Some people aren't driven. Some people are like more, I think, buried within their own lives and their own struggles to have energy to strive for different beliefs or to educate themselves on matters. And even if you do try to educate them, they'll just go, you know.
But
I'd
even then,
say,
that's still a choice.
yeah, that would be kind of a choice, but is it though? I mean, if you are overwhelmed in your life with extreme poverty or just whatever, then you're not going to want to expend your energy into, these deep philosophical questions. If that be the case, if it's a belief about something philosophical or metaphysical or what have you. But that's just me kind of playing devil's advocate. I do think that there is a choice that is made in terms of, do I look into this further? That I think is it's granted to people that are in the privileged position in order to do so, if they have access to knowledge centers, which most people do now. But when I was growing up, we didn't have as many resources. Same for y'all, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
The resources that we have are easier to access now. But there's also so much information that is just bad, that it's really difficult. You've got to work for the real meat of what you're trying to educate yourself on in order to distinguish you need to be able to discern what's true, what's not true. And that takes a lot of work. You have to have the energy and the effort to put forth that effort is, and if you don't have it to begin with, then you just don't have it.
So, and for me to relate the religion aspect of going from one religion to no religion, for me there was no choice in that matter. It went from I was because I was actually actively trying to fight the fact that I no longer could have faith, and I was trying to trick myself for several years, and no matter what, no matter how much I prayed, no matter how much I fasted or read the Bible or anything along those lines, the choice in my brain had if we want to say the brain chose, it had already been made. There was no way that I was going to recapture the faith and believe something that in my mind I did not believe was true.
Yeah, and I think the main thing that we're kind of skirting around is, do we choose what convinces us? What doesn't convince us? This kind of thing.
So I'll go ahead and toss out my I guess rebuttal, if you will. Okay, so a belief is something that we accept as true, right? That's so we kind of boil down what we're talking about to its essences. And for me, in the way that we're going to establish beliefs as something that we accept is the case or is true. So that's a belief, right? And then building up from that, what what I find unconvincing about this argument is I cannot choose to believe, to accept something as the case that I don't believe is true. So I can't sit here consciously and choose to be a theist. And like Maddie was saying, during my deconversion process, there was many places where I didn't want to deconvert, right? Like it was things, but I had already accepted as the case that my prior beliefs weren't true. And so no matter how much I fought against those urges. And so, I mean, the other aspect that comes into this is exactly how much free will we have. And to postulate that we can just choose our beliefs, right? That I can all of a sudden, again, believe that God is real, that God exists, postulate some sort of libertarian free will. And that's just not a concept that I can get behind. I personally am a compatibilist. And so I think there are degrees of freedom whenever we're making rational choices, but they're always influenced by our prior states of mind and the prior state of the universe and our biology and things like this, and the information that was made available to us. But I think that another thing is, even if you're not able to choose your beliefs, that doesn't mean that you're incapable of changing them, right? So whenever we're talking about, let's say, I mean, we'll continue to use the theism aspect. Whenever you're introduced with new information, right, you have a set of standards that you use to determine the truth, whether or not you've explored them or not, right? That you judge things by. And as evidence comes in and it's filtered through, you're not deciding, but things change. And so whenever you're presented with new evidence against, say, theism, there is a fundamental shift that goes on. And my contention is that's not something that we choose. Because if it was something, if we were capable of just choosing our beliefs, right, instead of kind of our beliefs choosing us, then I could honestly choose to just believe in God, right? But that is something that I'm incapable of doing. I could sit here all night willing myself to believe in God, but because I don't accept that it's the case at a deeper level that God exists, then I'm not able to do that.
Yeah. That would be helpful.
I just wanted to jump in here real quick and say that Evans and I, we've actually had personal conversations about this since the initial video that took place, and our views on the free will argument have probably changed to a certain degree, because new information has come out in regards to some of the testing that was done in terms of free will, and it was shown that it was not substantiated. And so, whereas now I would say, if I wake up and my choices are coffee or tea, I probably can choose whichever I want, and it's a form of free will. But deep core beliefs, where it's this is true, this is false, I can't on a whim decide to go, okay, well, what I thought was true yesterday is false, and what I thought was false yesterday is true, and just switch them up and back and forth, and actually believe those things at a deep core level.
Yeah, and you can also, you have the opportunity to lie to yourself. It's kind of like I fell in love with Maddie decades ago, and we were together, and I've been in love with them ever since. But I did leave at one point.
Yeah,
because I chose to leave it, but those feelings stayed, and here I am. I mean, so I mean, you do have that choice, but it might not be what you're, kind of drawn to. You might not be able to help what, like I said, convinces you in terms of belief. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at on that.
Yeah, and I do get that, which is why I made the point of unconscious choices.
Right.
It's a
definitely
back part of your brain, but that part of your brain is weighing up different pieces of evidence and going, I believe this part more than this part.
But in what way
choice made?
Especially whenever we're talking about choice in regards to free will, I'm confused as to in what way our subconscious making a choice is in any way resembling our conscious choices, or what we would classically consider choices. Because I'm fully for, if the thing is your unconscious chooses to believe this, not that, then yeah, I mean that's why
Yeah.
I would say that you don't choose your beliefs. Your prior mind states, your subconscious, all the underpinning that go on,
Yeah.
all the things that we've already mentioned, or what is driving whether or not you accept a proposition to be true or false, or whether or not you accept something to be the case. And that is what your conscious mind cannot override. My subconscious, and this is, I subconscious versus conscious is a little bit problematic in these discussions, but I think everybody understands what we're talking about.
Yeah, they kind of overlap. So I mean,
Well, they kind of overlap, and it's not, subconscious is not the best kind of description for what goes on in our underlying brain states. But kind of that aside, just speaking in purely, where everybody understands it, my subconscious mind does not accept the God proposition to be true, no matter how much will my conscious mind exerts on my subconscious mind. I cannot change that that part of myself. And so whenever we're talking about choosing beliefs, whenever I say we don't choose our beliefs, what I'm talking about is our conscious, first person, experiential, quality experiencing, things like that. The thing that we would say, well, I chose tea rather than coffee, that part I don't think weighs into the proposition too much. Now, there is an argument to be made, and I'm kind of getting out on the fringes of my knowledge, so don't take anything here. There's an argument to be made that whenever we engage in rational thinking, like really, really deep level rational thinking, that we can tweak the dials that are for this purpose that our subconscious uses to accept a proposition to be true. There's not good data on this because I don't even know how you'd study it, right? So, I mean, I would be willing to accept a proposition that given a high level of rational choice, you can exert some pressure on your subconsciouses, what you're willing to accept as evidence, what you're willing to think is true and not true, and things like that. But at a surface level, or like an everyday level, I wouldn't even consider that whether you chose tea or coffee was necessarily your choice. I think that whatever semblance of free will we have only comes into play whenever we're rationalizing, whenever we're using our cognitive faculties, whenever we're using our conscious minds to sway. But even then, it's something like a degree of freedom, right? Like there are certain things that you are able to tweak a little bit more than others, but there are certain things that if you never had the information, it would never be there in the first place, so you couldn't rationally justify it.
Well,
and that kind of goes back to what I was saying in terms of that drive and that need to go out and educate yourself. That would be a part of that process, that conscious process of trying to figure out what the truth really is, if that is what your goal is. So go ahead, Maddie.
And just to be clear, like when we talk about free will, it's always been in the conscious mindset.
Yes.
That's what the philosophical talks about free will is do we have the conscious ability to decide what we're going to do, or what we're going to believe. The subconscious, that's basically where it's all already planned out for us, and the decisions have been made and the choices have been made. But the free will argument is, can I choose right now in this moment to become a theist? And I just that can't happen.
Well, and for free will, I think that you have to postulate some sort of body dualism. I don't think that you can get to libertarian free will or some sort of conception of libertarian free will without mind body dualism. Because if we believe that our mind is either a product of, is produced by, or intrinsically based on our neurons and our brain makeup and things like that, then there's no way that you're actually ever truly free to choose anything.
So I do want to bring up one point that I think is very poignant in terms of this discussion, especially in light of the dualism idea, is that the brain has what is called neuroplasticity. So you can change your patterns and your habits and things like that, and you can consciously do so. But it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of just really sticking to it until it becomes like muscle memory. So it is possible to do. But in
Yeah, but I
terms
would say that
of
still,
belief, though, it takes a whole lot of, like I said before, research and having that ability to change your mind to begin with and to be convinced. You have to have that structure in place.
I would, but even on that point, which I agree. I mean, neuroplasticity is a established fact. You know, things like that. You can rewrite habits, even though the old habits stick around.
Yeah.
But you still have to have an underlying. If you're going to go a layer deeper, you still have to have an underlying drive to do that thing.
Exactly.
Like I cannot will myself to learn to play the oboe, right? Because that's not, there is no drive within me that says, hey, playing the oboe would be something that I want to do.
But if you
And
had an
so-
incentive,
but-
you
but-
would.
But as soon as you've postulated the incentive,
Yeah.
then you've taken it out of the realm of I am
Yes.
freely able to choose, because all of a sudden now the girl that I like's really, she's into, say, oboe players. And so
Yes.
now I'm going to learn to play the oboe because I want to get the girl. Right.
Yes.
But if I don't have any underlying drive to do these things,
Bingo.
then there's no way that I'm going to be able to do so. And that underlying
Yes.
drive, right, I don't believe is under our control. I see no evidence to think so, because no matter how much I try, I cannot choose to like Donald Trump.
Agreed.
Right? You know, like that's whenever we're postulating natures of choice, like I think if you really sit down, it's like you can't choose not to do these things. Like,
yeah, I can't choose to not want to feel like vomiting whenever I see him speaking. Anyway,
And
go
Can
ahead.
someone in the chat tell us if we're still live? Because for some reason I've been logged out of the chat and I can't get back in.
I think we're still live. Anyway, go ahead, Alhana.
Yeah. First off, I'll tackle the thing about learning the oboe to get the girl. Finding out that the girl likes oboe players, you then going and learning the oboe, that is a choice, because you could always choose to try and win the girl without learning the oboe. But as far as the theism argument goes, I would say the problem with you, as you say, you couldn't choose to become a theist again, is a belief in God isn't just a single belief.
Right.
Belief in God is based on many small level choices, whether you believe in this piece of evidence or that piece of evidence. So trying to change a belief structure, like whether you believe in God or not, trying to choose what you believe there is trying to override many small, lower level choices that you're not willing to let go of, and that's your issue. And it was the same when you were deconverting, because you would have, before you started doubting, you would have believed wholeheartedly in everything that you was taught.
Right.
Yet you were experiencing other things, and you chose to begin to believe certain things which changed the foundations of that larger thing until it all collapsed, which, yeah, you may not have chosen for it to collapse, but those smaller level choices completely destroyed that belief. So you may not have chosen to not believe in God anymore, but you did choose the things that led you to no longer believe in God, which is why you couldn't choose to keep believing in God, even though you wanted to, because it would mean choosing to override things that you weren't willing to disbelieve.
Yeah, but in no way, shape, or form was each small choice a choice that I consciously made, right? Like you're presented, you believe one way and you're presented with another with a, let's say, a piece of evidence, right? An argument against your certain God belief or something like that. We'll just keep running with atheism, but this is broadly
So you
applicable
may
to
have
all sorts of beliefs.
chosen to not believe in
My
God
whenever you're presented with a piece of evidence, you believe that it's true or false, right? You accept that that is the case or that isn't the case. That choice or that belief, I don't believe is a conscious choice. I see no evidence to think that I am making a conscious choice in that. And if it's all subconscious, then well, that's not a choice, right? You know, if your subconscious brain, there's no sense that your subconscious brain. And so if I have a standard of truth that I want to meet that is somewhat hardwired by my culture and upbringing and prior states of the universe, things like that, and a new piece of evidence gets introduced, whether or not I think that evidence is true or false is not determined by my conscious choice. And if I believe that whenever that switch goes over, then that is what changes the belief fundamentally, because again, this all boils down to beliefs and whether or not we choose them. And if we could choose our beliefs, right, if we could choose what we accept to be true, even an infinitesimally small piece of the world, even if we're not talking about radical belief structures, in no way, shape, or form can I suddenly choose to accept something as true that I don't priorly believe to be true, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem, because simply your framing of you can't choose to believe something that you know to be false, but you've chosen to believe that that's false, and that's why you can't choose to believe
but it
it's
wasn't a
true.
choice. That's the thing. Whenever I'm presented with a piece of evidence, whether or not I think it's true or false is not something that I choose. I don't think that it's something that any of us choose, because if I take the case that X is true, my conscious mind cannot override whether or not I accept that that's the case.
Yeah.
You know, if that was the case, then we would be able to override any series and we could just believe what we wanted to believe is true, right? We could just exert our willpower and change what we accept to be the case. I don't see any evidence for any of that.
I would love that.
So,
So
I mean, that'd be great, but
I do want to say that we are kind of short on time. So if y'all want to continue this next week, we can. This conversation. It's a good conversation. I mean, it's one of
probably
those
better
Fascinating.
conversation for a show by itself.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe so. But I do think that this is one that's going to continue because there's no clear cut, kind of, okay, this is the answer. This is a debate I think will continue anyway. So, all right. So I'm going to move on to the cute stuff. And we've already showed you
Do
this.
you want me to
Yay.
really quickly share my
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I thought we were pressed for time.
well,
but
my topic isn't going to take very long.
Okay.
So I have autism, and that's pretty well known because I have a show on Spectrum Chats on the autism spectrum. So it's been recently brought to like the forefront again on Twitter, whether it's okay to do the whole 𝒔𝓷𝓳𝓸𝓚 thing, or talk about how someone seems like they maybe are crazy because of the way that they talk, because they're neurodivergent. My identity is not a joke. It's something I've had my entire life, and it kind of sickens me to see leftists partaking in that. We're supposed to be better than the right at respecting people's dignity and their humanity, and that's basically all I got to say. Just stop.
Yeah, stop that. That is
here,
absolutely
here.
that the dirtbag left and their slurs and their ableism and their misogyny and their racism and their transphobia can all get bent.
Well, it's okay because they used to be Nazis and now they're not.
Yeah, it's
No.
okay because they're trying to do like praxis and they're fighting the whole class struggle. I don't know. I'm sorry, but that's classist in itself using these slurs. I'm sorry. that's not a good argument.
If you got to use a
And-
slur to get your point across, learn to argue better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm going to go ahead in this video because it's so cute. And
I know, I'm sitting here
Didn't we
trying
see
not
the
to
exact
smile.
same kind of video last week?
yes.
No.
This is just
Did we?
strawberries. Last
This
week it was
time's-
chives or something.
No, I think it was rye or barley or something. I don't know.
But,
But,
it was the
yes.
same video. It's the same
It-
thing.
Aww.
Is
I
It's
think
this
still
those are
cute,
scoops of
Maddie.
watermelon.
Look, this is a watermelon and a bunny. I mean, what
Yeah.
more can you ask for, really? You can't. There's nothing
Some of them
else.
smooth strawberries.
Yes, smooth strawberries. All right, so
Wait,
this
did
happened.
we skip Evans?
My topic was dumb anyway, so
Okay, you can
Move
do that
along.
on Friday.
yeah,
Fat clouds, right?
yeah, something like that.
All right, so Trump tweeted this nonsense, and we're like, what? What the fuck? So there's that.
I just love that you've got that thing on that just like marks all of his stuff as
Oh
untrustworthy.
yes, the troll bot
Yes.
thing. Yes, it is wonderful, I tell you. And I get all kinds of notifications of trolls that have been banned from Twitter, and it makes me so happy. I'm gonna have to full screen this because this is adorable. Ah! I mean, how can you resist that, really?
This is
Oh,
my favorite part of the show.
so
Oh, we
this
got to
Bill-
watch this. Yes.
yeah, we got to watch this because holy shit, Bill Maher, holy shit. We're only going to watch this one clip, but
I feel like, I'm sure as you do sometimes, a man without a country.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a group of us, Sam Harris,
Yes.
people you've had on,
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson, Barry Weiss.
Yeah.
You know, we're all progressives,
Yeah.
but sensible progressives.
wait.
What?
Jordan Peterson is a progressive.
Barry Weiss?
Yeah, Mr. Enforced Monogamy is definitely a progressive.
Yeah, well, it depends on what you mean by enforced and what you mean by monogamy, right? I mean, holy shit, y'all.
I just can't even, how did these two people with both of their brains,
Wait. Hold on.
I'm saying they have brains, it's
Okay.
obvious, come together and put that stuff into words that they're good progressive. What? No, you're not.
Yeah,
But
Bill
come on,
Maher isn't a
remember,
progressive.
words mean whatever they say they mean now because, according to rationality rules, Sargon's pretty liberal.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
Sargon's the most liberal of all the
Bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
Stop
bullshitters.
it. I couldn't even watch that video, y'all. There's no way.
Bill Maher
Real
was
progressive.
liberal when Clinton was president.
Yeah.
That's when he was on the board. That was
Yeah.
it.
And
He's been getting more conservative since then.
it's strange because the one thought that I had in my mind when I watched this video was, does Bill Maher think he's a progressive? Does he really?
I don't know, because he always talks about how shitty they are on his show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
Aye.
Bill Maher's a dick.
Yeah.
yes.
No.
You know,
Well-
I know that people look down on bill shaming, but I'm thinking bill shaming needs to come back.
Yes. Can we cancel him again? Can we legit cancel him again? Oh, I mean, identity politics is the only thing he complains about now.
I get HBO to cancel him. That'd be better.
Yes.
for real.
Look,
That'd
everybody.
be cancel culture.
Look, how are we even going to be America if liberals can't use slurs and talk like right wingers and hate on trans people and all that shit? How are we even going to be? Is it even going to be our country?
Oh my god. And
yeah.
And what's
I was
really
just
funny?
checking.
A lot of these people, they talk about Rome as the pinnacle of civilization. Well, guess what? Rome was largely multicultural. So Yeah.
But also, maybe update your mindsets from
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps ancient Rome isn't the best thing to base a society off of.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe.
I think it is. Here's what we do. You know, you got Bill Maher, you got all these people out there that want to be alpha males.
Oh shit.
We get a Coliseum together.
Yep.
And
some lions.
and put them all together. Give them lobster claws. That's
Oh
appropriate.
my god.
And just let them go at it until only the most alpha of the alphaist stands supreme. And then they can have a show on like late night sports channel.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure
Christians versus lions.
Oh god.
Wow. I'm pretty sure if we put them all in an arena, though, Rogan's going to come out probably in the top spot.
Probably.
You think so?
I don't know. Sargon took a fish to the face.
That is true.
And it was awesome.
Oh, we need a replay of that, like over and over and over.
Yeah, but the fish just probably thought Sargon's face was a relative.
Oh.
That's the thing is that's how you really spice it up. You have everybody in the audience with fish and milkshakes and horse shit, and at various times they just throw that shit out there.
Glitter is mock assassinations. Remember that, y'all.
Yes.
All right. Do we want to watch the? Go ahead.
Remember the milkshake.
I gotta say, when you first brought this up, I didn't realize that was Bill Maher. What I first thought when I saw it was, my God, Ryan Stiles has let himself go.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Do you want to play the rest of the clip? It's only like
go ahead.
Nah.
So real progressives.
We're not blindly ideological
right.
to our party. Yeah.
Right. And we don't chase these virtue signalers.
Oh my God, virtue signalers. Virtue.
What you and Rogan are doing right now is virtue signaling.
I mean, at this point, saying virtue signal is a virtue signal.
Keep going. I've almost got my all right talking point bingo card filled out.
Yep. Oh, fuck yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Who are always, as a friend of mine said, they wake up offended.
Yes. That was the last one that I needed.
There it is.
You know, I woke up this morning and it was cold, and that totally offended me. I don't know about y'all, but
I wake up and then I hop on Twitter for right wingers to tell me what I should be offended about.
Yeah.
Yes. Tim Pool, Andy No.
You know what offends me is there's no more vagina bones in video games, y'all. That is
fucking lootly.
What the fuck is up with that?
Bring back vagina bones.
Titties.
Yeah, titties aren't big enough. I mean, can't we just go back to the huge polygons from the 90s, please?
I miss when breasts were 5 pixels and they were gigantic. Instead of hundreds of thousands of pixels and regular size.
5 pixels.
Bring back the 5 pixel giant triangle breasts.
Oh my God.
Oh, and speaking of Tim Pool, has everyone seen Curio's videos on the week on Tim Pool?
Oh yes, so
No,
good.
I
So
haven't.
good. Yes. Please.
I don't think.
Yes, go check those out.
Oh, brilliant.
You'll have to link me, please. Link
Will
me.
do.
All right. So we got a few more seconds.
We don't need to hear, you know, they always complain about us cutting them off. Let's just cut them off.
Okay. I don't think Evans is happy.
I'm perfectly happy.
You're perfectly happy?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't.
Let's look at this fox. This fox is adorable.
Wow.
Look at the fox. The coloring is so unusual, right?
Oh,
That is awesome.
I know, and the eyes are just, oh, wow. Just
Aye.
glowing right. I imagine what the eye shine would be like in those eyes. Oh, yes.
So we have to explain something for the chat. There was a gamer that was incredibly upset about one of the Final Fantasy remodels and stated that they removed her vagina bone.
Yes. Just for the
Oh,
record.
True story.
So that is to explain it. They were very upset that a vagina bone had been removed from a video game.
And I'm very upset that nobody is saying anything about this elephant in the stall.
They're adorable.
And 𝒮𝓿 just said, "I'm offended about you being offended." Damn
That's
y'all.
right. That's right.
And also a little bit of extra context on that. They were complaining about the removal of the vagina bone on the character Riku, who's canonically 14 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Classy.
Well,
Is this a cheese grater?
that went places. So I'm wondering, how cool would this car be in Texas when you're driving down the road, like the freeway, and it's like 110 degrees and you're in traffic? I mean, that would
You
be.
can't do anything because there's no seats.
Once again, I just have microbloganism said you don't see pussy in Final Fantasy, and yeah, now that the liberals taken over, you don't.
Yep.
Oh my
On
gosh.
that pick, I just kind of thought, like, do you guys remember Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Like if 𝒮𝓿-𝓉-𝑜𝓊𝓉 was a transformer.
Yes. Yes. I love that. That is amazing.
That's brilliant.
So it's really cold here, and I envy these monkeys because they have a nice hot spring that they can go to and warm up. And
But they also have to get out, and they're just in the cold. It's not that great when they just have to get out and they're in the cold.
Look, you know what? You're not going to smush my dreams of very happy monkeys, macaques in Japan.
Your dream is to be a monkey having the parasites picked off of you in the middle of winter in Japan.
Look, no, my dream is to have a jacuzzi, so get on that.
It's better than America in 2020 as Trump is the president. I'm just saying.
Yes.
That's true. They don't have Trump.
Yeah.
I will take the parasites over Trump.
Yep.
I will say though, I have a friend here in Germany, and they had in their basement, they built in a little sauna.
Oh,
That'd be amazing.
that would.
Yeah, but you don't get snow there, so stop bragging.
I'm just saying, if you don't want to go to the jacuzzi, because outdoor jacuzzi in the snow is awesome. Get a sauna, then run outside in the snow to cool off. Go back in the sauna.
That would be amazing.
Oh, because that's what I do at the spa here. They've got like a little sauna village where there are no swimsuits allowed, and you go in like from the little hut to, well, if it's like 40 people or 50 people, building to building, and you're just out in the cold with your towel.
Oh wow.
Or your bathrobe, some people, but yeah. And there's a cold water plunge pool and like showering stuff too. So yeah, cold, hot.
My
and then
chickens
just go home and sleep.
My chickens are done just thinking about it. All right. So this is when my chickens, that's right.
Are you talking about your eggs that are all mostly dead, according to Stephen Molyneux?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Mine are over
Stefan,
90%
in the Polish
dead.
fashion, please.
Yes. Stevie Moldy Nuts.
Yes, Stevie Moldy Nuts. When Trump supporters say they're not racist. I mean,
Nice.
yeah, that's
Trump's never said
anything racist. Dude, no. Never. Yeah, okay.
All right. So DM, Dungeon Master, you're at the top of the cliff. Below is your adventuring party. Cat, I jump. DM, the impact will kill you. No, it won't. I'll cushion my tail with bedroll. DM, you what? Fine. Roll with disadvantage. Rogue, 20 and a 20. DM, son of a, you're in bed. Whoop.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yes, and just for the replay, I mean
Wow.
that is what
It's a veterinary
Amazing.
hospital.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a.
this cat down here is like, what?
What's going on?
The cat, I think, looked at the camera as if to go,
Yeah.
did you get that? Watch your face.
It sure did. Oh my gosh. And of course, bunnies. Bunny butt.
Oh.
because bunnies.
Bunnies.
I'm gonna have a bunny one day.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Penis.
Little fishy kisses. It's like, I don't know if I want to kiss that. It does smell like food.
Claw its eyes
kind
out.
of.
Should I? Is it a toy?
Right?
Should
Yeah,
I
it's like
Eat
it's
it.
like it's like trying to eat the mouth at the end.
Eat it.
It's like right at the end, it starts to bite. Watch this.
I try.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right
They
at the
cut it
very
off.
end.
They cut it
Well, of
off
course
real
they
quick.
I'm gonna just take a nibble.
Yes, this is Kristi from Kevin Logan's show.
Yes.
Oh, he'll
the
love
general
that.
herself.
Oh, that's gonna be the next intro.
That's also why I keep having to say penis every now and then, so Kristi knows we're still live.
Yes.
Yes, it makes. Thanks for making me feel at home.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're always
Penis.
welcome here. Penis! And I
Cock
feel
and
so
balls.
sorry. This cat just tried really hard to play with it, get it all nice and warm, ready to eat, and
Oop,
yoink.
mine.
Aw.
Oh, is that for
Thanks,
me?
man.
Yep.
Doing me
Appreciate
a
it.
solid.
Yes.
Wow,
Another
that's
little-
having none of it.
He
Like,
tries it
don't even.
again. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you."
Walk back in there. What the fuck?
Bitch, I told you. I
He's
Rule
gonna
this
throw
motherfucker.
fists.
yes,
Yep.
That's your room. The rest of this is mine.
pretty much. Oh, I love that. And this is how I feel in the snow. Anytime I go out, no matter if it's a half a foot or not, it's just yes. I'm
Oh, those
trudging along.
ears. That cat is
Yes.
pissed.
Oh, let me the fuck in the house, bitch. Oh,
I'm not hurt. I'm just embarrassed.
yeah, I'm outie.
Wow.
Hardcore parkour.
Yes, talent. How many points
Nice.
is that worth? It's got to be worth some
Wow.
points, y'all.
I didn't know they did hurdles.
Mhm.
Yeah, me neither. Oh. Mine. I don't know what that is.
Something
That's
the
a-
cat wanted.
Yep,
It's a beautiful cat.
that's the cats.
Yes, it totally
Yeah,
is.
Whatever it
Literally.
was, it is the cat's now.
You know, I
That's
used to
right.
have a pixie bob, and that thing was the sweetest cat in the world. Unless you were eating pizza.
What the
Oh my
hell?
god, I don't know what happened there, but it,
It's a ninja cat. Yeah, Thug Life, y'all. Thug
What?
Life. We'll watch it again so people have missed it.
what in the world?
I don't even know what I'm looking at right
I
now.
don't.
I
Me
have
neither.
no idea, but
It was cool as fuck. I'll tell you that.
so my pixie bob, if we had pizza, it would find a way to steal pizza off your plate, and then it would tear you to shreds. If you tried to get it
Yeah.
back.
Pizza Cat, it rules the universe, and that's all there is to it.
Oh,
I saw
did you
that.
think that was a good vid? What were you expecting to
For
happen?
starters-
Right?
For starters, you want to stretch it out first, and then
Yeah.
try to pull it, not just go.
Oh no, sometimes you just got to snatch it, Maddie. But you
And
need to do that not on a four-wheeler.
No.
Yeah,
You need that.
four-wheeler.
You need that head start, you know that. You need the-
Yeah,
Well,
get it uphill.
I think we can say that one less Trump supporter.
No, I'm pretty sure they survived. I'm pretty sure they did, and they're
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
More bunnies.
Oh,
Bunnies are
baby
adorable.
bun buns.
Yes, and I think these are lops because you can see their ears are already lopping.
Flipping,
don't-
yeah.
It takes a while for them to lop, but they're so cute. Oh my god, I want a bunny. I want these bunnies in particular. Okay. And this is a cute duck. I'm not gonna play it because it's got like music that's really annoying.
This is someone
But-
slapping a.
Look,
Wait.
this is totally a duck.
That is not a duck.
Oh.
You lied.
It says it's a duck. It's on a duck page. I mean, if words don't mean anything and a shark could be a dog, then this is a duck.
That's true.
Yeah. So Just look at the cute little murder log. It's a swamp kitty,
It's a
as
swamp
she
kitty,
likes
yeah.
to call. Yeah, smiling at you. All right, so this is really, I thought this was cute. Defend your answer. And Sarge, I don't know how much longer we can hold them.
They
Definitely.
deserve some points for that.
At least a
Yeah.
C. I mean, come on, y'all. So this actually happened. This man just goes into a Bloomingdale's and starts like just destroying the place. Yeah. And he actually tried to get in a fight with the security guard. Of course, he was later arrested after doing significant damage to the store before he got out.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he just came in there and started doing that shit. It's really weird.
They ran out of the type of perfume he was looking for.
Yeah.
It must have been.
Why don't y'all have any damn fire and ice?
I don't like. It's like, this used to be a hot topic.
Hot Topic's not cool anymore. That's why he's upset.
Mm-hmm.
So this is amazing. More parkour, animal parkour.
How is this? It's just animals coming downstairs. How
Yeah,
is this
that's
amazing?
stairs aren't parkour. They jump
Look.
down the stairs and do a
Look.
flip if it was parkour.
If you're a bunny, those stairs are enormous. Okay, just saying.
But they can jump. Like
So-
I expect more.
Okay, well,
Bring your A game next week.
so
For real.
Friends,
this
Romans.
is bunny of the day. I knew him well, Horatio. Yes. Have to have that because I like my daily bunny, okay? And this we actually have to have sound for because, oh my God, Casey shared this with me and it's adorable. Oops. What happened? Oh no. It's so cute. It's adorable. Oh, hi, Heinz. Hi, Heinz.
Whoa!
Yes.
Nice.
Can you imagine how scared these people
Yes.
are? Oh my God.
Can you imagine if one of those talons was out of place and it just
Yes.
ripped one of them's stomach wide open?
This is actually the 30th attempt.
Yeah. The other 3 people died, unfortunately.
The squinting that's going on here is like, oh, I know it's coming. I'm so scared. Oh.
Wow.
And this is, I found this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
satisfying.
corn dogs in the wild.
Yep.
Corn dogs.
Wild corn
Yeah.
dogs. Yes. There's so much fluff
My,
coming out of
my
it.
allergies are going
We
crazy
can't-
right now.
We can't do that here. They'll fine you for it.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that shit's pretty bad when it gets in the air and
Oh.
then
See, I
it
didn't know that.
spreads.
Ain't no laws.
What the
Yes, I
hell?
loved this. This one was so cool.
This is amazing.
It's cake.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
cakes that are shaped like doohickeys.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
is this how far we've gone down, America?
Well,
What?
okay.
How has that gone down?
Because we now have to have cake shaped like other unhealthy foods.
The laws are
So?
plenty healthy, Maddie.
No.
Yeah, White
Yes.
Claws aren't too bad.
Yeah. And there ain't no laws.
At the German Christmas
Sure.
markets, they have chocolate that they've shaped into, it looks like rusted old like wrenches or like metal things that tire spikes, no, train spikes, and then they dust it off too, so it looks like rust. So that was like the closest thing to, a confectionery that looked like the real thing, because they look really. This is amazing.
It
and I wanna eat
is.
cakes.
So
I
I
wanna
think it's
try.
awesome.
Christy, you have to share this with Kevin the next time you see him. We got a $10 super chat from HK, a 10-pound super chat. I was only quoting Kevin Logan and I got timed out. Ha ha. I looked up above and it said, "Is that Kristi, the Nazi general?"
Yeah.
Sorry you got timed out, HK.
Oh, so sorry about that.
But that's a great story, though. I'm sorry you got timed out.
Sometimes it's difficult to know if people are trolling or not in the chats, but I'm sorry that happened to you. Now, would y'all climb a mountain?
Sure.
No.
I've done it before.
Yeah?
Yeah. Back in my younger days.
Would you climb ice though?
You're still young.
Yeah, he's got a safety line. So
younger days, what you're
All right, here's a question. Am I running away from a bear?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, the bear's just fucking
question.
eating me. I'm just laying down for the bear.
Like, if that's a scenario, yes, I would try to climb a mountain or an ice thing, but I can't think of many other scenarios where that would be a decision I would make in my life.
Me neither. And you would just lay down for the bear, huh?
I mean, I've been not paragliding. It's when tandem gliding.
Right.
That was amazing. I would do that. I mean, that was terrifying, but it was also amazing because it just basically felt like you were in a swing. But when you look down, it was like 8,000 feet.
Wow. That would be amazing.
But it felt as solid as just being on a swing set. That's how much lift there was under the thing.
See,
I imagine that was awe-inspiring, though.
I just when I lost my virginity, I was like, this is the peak. This is how far I'm going. This is max excitement for me. I'm good.
Yeah, but you would just lay down for that bear. I see how it is. I see how
if
it
the bear
is.
wants to eat me or fuck me or whatever, I'm not climbing a mountain.
So please explain to me why your mother made you feel that way. Yes. Trash Panda.
Is his name Freud?
Yes, this is Trash Panda Freud.
Oh.
Just let us in. Come on, we'll be good. We promise not to say anything. Ring ding 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 ding.
Just as well there's no sound on that because the sound of baby foxes is
there's the bear.
Horrible.
Oh yeah, they're not fun.
Yeah. So they'll stand off.
Gosh, they look like human drunk guys. Insane thing.
This is just them. This is a highway in British Columbia, and they're just pixelated. But yeah, they're just having at it. They don't care that they could get run over.
Again, my previous comment about drunk guys.
Yes.
This is Sargon and Count Dankula when Count Dankula got mad that nobody even remembered he was running for anything.
Oh my god, I didn't know that and I'm so happy.
That is amazing.
That just made my night. That his anger at that. Oh, it makes me happy.
Yes. This is apparently how I greet a new day.
Oh.
Sorry, Kristi. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, this was fantastic. I loved this actually. Just the whole the cat just that's it, you're off.
Yeah.
This is my shelf.
Yeah. Got enough. You're invading my space.
Also, cats are dicks.
Yes, they are.
But in some ways I kind of respect them for being dicks. You know?
Yes. I respect them a lot more than just, That's why I'm not as much of a dog person as I am a cat person, because you have to earn their respect. The dogs are so sweet, though.
Well, dogs are there when you want unconditional love, and cats are there when you want to be left alone.
Yes.
I wish somebody would tell my cat that.
Yeah. I bet you Tree is in the audience saying, "Hey, this is my view when I go to bed at night."
Yes.
And a better view you cannot have.
Yeah, that's true.
That
so
cat
true.
is. Go back to the tree cat.
This is Elmer.
Yes, Elmer. That would be the perfect cat for. I don't always drink milk, but when I do,
Yes.
That is an awesome point. Okay,
So
I think go
oh,
ahead.
On the cat and the dog thing, I think, cat can be quite satisfied sitting next to you, curling up next to you. I mean, yeah, they do the thing where they walk over you when you're trying to write something in your laptop and it's annoying.
Yep.
But like a dog will just sit there and stare at you.
Yeah.
And just want to be on you. And so, yeah, I mean, cats have a little bit of sense of personal space. I think that's what I wanted to say.
2 things to that. A cat will also drop a not quite dead bat on your face in the and also when it's hungry, it would jump up onto a windowsill right above my head and then jump down onto my face.
Well,
I never had a dog do that.
Justin, wow.
Both species will lick their butts and then want to lick your mouth.
That's true.
yes.
Which is probably what this dog just did before all of these kisses.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
Or
yeah.
your hands or your face. Just
That's a beautiful dog, though.
Yeah.
The dog's
Really
like, these kids are really getting the shit taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, now I've got booger taste, and that's a little better. Oh, well,
Aw, sweet.
that's the last of my bookmarks. I thought I had a whole lot, but we went through them so fast. Oh, was it, Evans? Was it plenty?
Well, we're right at the 2-hour mark, so that
I
was
was
perfect.
going to say, that's like, we ended like where we were supposed to. I don't.
Yes.
No ill intention meant, Snarky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is Maddie's channel, and you always get the shit on Maddie's channel. So
That
I
is
thought
true.
I would go along with that tradition, and of course, when
Well,
this
Evans
airs,
is just the token cis het white male.
That is
that's
true.
right. That's right.
We allow
And
him here.
I just want to say on my channel in the future, shame on you, Snarky. Your channel's better than that. Okay. And you shouldn't have done it.
Yes.
Shame. Okay.
You should
ding,
maybe
ding,
tell
ding.
Snarky on Snarky's channel to make some more content.
You know what? You gonna content shame me?
Ooh, I
You
thought they got a
gotta,
new
you know
series
what?
coming out on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just
Doing
playing.
I'm doing a series with Casey. So speaking of which, it's time to show yourselves again, and we're gonna start with Casey because Casey's awesome.
Well, thank you, Snarky. You're awesome too.
Aw.
But yeah, I have #Heathen channel. My name is Casey. And we have a new series starting on Monday at 7 p.m. The premiere of the first episode will go up. So tune in for that. And then on Fridays, I am on Maddie's channel, Objectively Subjective for Honor Last Nerve. And then here, as in tonight, with Mrs. Snarky taking over Objectively Subjective's channel on Saturdays. And yeah, so cool.
Yeah, I dominate this bitch on Saturdays. Anyway. All right, next up we have Faithless Southerner.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yep. Go subscribe to me.
But at the beginning of the stream, he said not to. So what are they supposed to do?
Be very confused.
Yes.
Okay. And next up we have Trans Gamer Girl.
Hi, Trans Gamer Girl. Bunch of gaming content, a few newer videos. There will be more coming soon. Or Twitter, 𝒮𝓊𝓉_𝑒. Thank you.
Yes. And I will have all the Twitter handles and links to their channels in my description. I don't know if Maddie will do the same, but
I
we'll
don't put the
see.
Twitter handles, but I put the links to the channels.
Oh, you don't put the Twitter, do you?
And of course, Spectrum Chat in just a couple of weeks' time.
Yep.
Hell yes. I love the Spectrum chats as well. Next up we have Kristi.
Yeah, well, you can check out Kristi and Kev's Happy Hour. That was the whole thing about Kristi from Kev's show. That was the joke. Either on my co-host channel, that you can find that by typing in Kevin Logan channel. And you can find me by typing Kristi Winters channel into the YouTube search bar. If you just do our first names, you're going to come with a bunch of like anti-feminists who hate us videos. So write channel in there. It'll really narrow your search results. Yeah. So, and thanks again for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. And if you have a lot of haters, you're doing something right. That's my motto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
Sweet.
any of those.
There's
No.
no response videos for this channel
No, not at
whatsoever out
all.
there. Don't Google
Yeah.
them. They're not a thing. Speaking of this channel, Maddie.
I'm Maddie of the Objectively Subjective channel, which, like I said in the beginning, if it's Saturday, you're watching it here, and you don't need to do anything unless you're not subscribed. Also, like the stream.
Yes.
Thank you for the super chats. I also have a Patreon that's in the link below. We do Patreon after shows after Friday night show, and yeah, y'all are awesome. If you're on Snarky's channel, sub to me.
Yes. And since we're
And-
right now, what?
I was gonna say, and easier way to find Kevin Logan's channel is just to go outside and scream penis, and it will appear.
If you say it
And
3 times,
Yes.
what will happen?
And thank you to 𝒮𝓏 for the links in the chat.
Yes,
If
thank
you
you, Tria.
If you say it 3 times, Kevin gets a tingle.
Oh.
So it's like ASMR for Kevin.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
great. We'll have to make an ASMR channel just for Kevin, where we go penis. All right. So I am Mrs. Snarky. I am a YouTuber. I also do art. Check out my Redbubble. Yay! I'm selling some stuff. It's pretty awesome. I'm happy about it. Also, I have a channel where I talk about politics, philosophy, and all things snarky. So subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications, do all the things. Thank you very much for watching tonight. Really appreciate my guests here. Each and every one of you have been amazing for this show. And yeah, remember to know yourselves and stay snarky. Bye.
Bye.
Special thank you to all my wonderful
Penis.
patrons. I really appreciate your support. Also, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss another snarky video. Don't forget to know yourself and stay snarky.